So hello my friends, Devon Lennox here, PhotographyPX. In today's video, I'm going to take you guys behind the scenes for a behind the scenes look of a photo shoot. All right, so in this behind the scenes, I'm going to be using the 5-foot impact white umbrella, and I'm going to be using a Paul C. Buff Einstein strobe. We're going to adjust the output accordingly based on how much illumination that we have. But the reason why I'm using a 5-foot parabolic umbrella is because it's a very big and soft light source that's going to be rapid and all-encompassing rather than using multiple lights. So we're in a situation now where we actually have really high ceilings, so we can actually use this kind of modifier. So the thing is, you guys have to understand is that the bigger your modifier, the softer the light's going to be, but also more so how much illumination of your background and your subject is going to occur, because how much light spill is going to happen throughout the frame. So that's part of the reason why I'm using a 5-foot. You could go bigger. You can use a 7-foot or a 9-foot umbrella. I don't have the 7-foot with me, but I do have that as well. But suffice it to say, the 5-foot in this situation is going to be able to light the entire model from head to toe. So that's why I'm using that. As far as why I'm using a Paul C. Buff Einstein, they're really light, they're compact, they're easy to use, they're super easy to travel with. They are fantastic strobes in my opinion. Great color consistency. Right now we've got the strobe set to about 160 watt seconds, which is a little bit over a third of its power. And this is going to be something I'm going to adjust based on what the aperture and what shutter speed I want to shoot on my camera. So right now I'm shooting at f8, and the reason why I'm shooting at f8 as opposed to shooting at 1.4 or f13 or f22 is because I want to shoot at the sharpest focal, or the sharpest aperture of my lens. With every single lens, they're going to be the sharpest in the middle of their range. So for this, I'm using the Sigma 85 1.4 millimeter art lens. And the aperture of this lens goes all the way down. It stops down at aperture f22. So if you do basically a calculation and you get to 8, or if you do a calculation and you get to half of that, that's going to be between f8 to f11. And personal preference, I like the way f8 looks, but f11 would also be sufficient to get really sharp photos. So that's kind of what we're doing with our lighting setup. Let's kind of pan back over here, and we'll kind of show you guys how it's kind of positioned as well. So we are using a C stand here. This is a Paul C. Buff C stand as well. So you may be asking your question, why would I use a C stand as opposed to using a traditional tripod or light stand that just extends out and just goes up? Well, the thing is, I'm going to be basically standing right here in the middle of the frame, and if I had a tripod or typical light stand behind me, I would be kind of in a position like this, and I'd be shooting like this to be having the lights basically centered with the subject. And I don't want to be in that situation, so I still want the light to be centered, but at the same time, I don't want to have to, kick over some gear. So that's part of the reason why I use a C stand. Now it is weighted. We do have some sandbags on the C stand as well, on the arm as well as on the base as well, because this is going to start to get pretty high up, and it will get wobbly and it will fall over. So making sure that we put some sandbags on it. But that's kind of our lighting setup, and the reason why I'm using this again is just because I personally like Paul C. Buff. I think they have great lighting equipment, super consistent, excellent refresh rate. It is fantastic. And then I'm using the Impact 5-foot umbrella just because I want a big light source as opposed to using a beauty dish or another softbox. I want to be able to light our model over here with just one light from head to toe. So that's where I'm going to show you guys how to do in a follow-up video. So stay tuned to that. I hope you're starting to get a little bit of insight on how we do certain things here at PhotographyPX, and starting to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to really start to get results when you're shooting at home, or if you're shooting on a studio location like we are today. But leave a like and a comment down in the description below. Let me know if I'm missing anything, or what you'd kind of change in this lighting setup if you guys were here. And then, as always, my friends, stay tuned to the next video. Peace out.